I tell y'all, man, it's been a year for me. As you can see, my ups and downs for this year it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, I guess you could start by saying like my life this year has been a prime example of how people can be up and then be down, and it could just all be stripped away. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Like I never expected my life to be at that point, because I had what everybody wanted. I was living what they consider the American dream. I would like to think. Let me fix my camera a little bit. There you go. I thought I was living the American dream. And don't we all? We all want to live the American dream until reality hits us. When you're young and you get married and you have kids and then you're trying to provide and you just want to be a provider and things of that nature, and you know it don't really work out for you like that in the end. My past year I have hit like an ultimate low. My bad if you hear stuff, people texting me and stuff like that. Matter of fact, let me turn that off. Sorry, y'all. Eh, So my year has been like the craziest year, man. Like, um, going from having a family, well, I still have family, but what I mean, like having a wife, having kids, having the best job, making great money, paying all your bills, um, just living life. You didn't with no worries. It was great. It was great, and I think I hit a milestone, not a milestone, but I think I hit a roadblock dealing with losing a friend of mine. And then it seems like from last year till now, just going from here each month, it seems like I lost one thing after another. And it's crazy. Like people will look at me and think, nah, not him, not him. No, like everything has been life changing for me. Everything has been life changing. Like I said, losing one of the best jobs I had that I've only worked for. I live here in Florida. So working for in Florida and um, getting a divorce and losing my best friend, then losing another friend, and then uh, separating from my ex-wife and things like that, and get doing stuff like going through the divorce process, and I lost my job, and then that got taken away from me. So everything just started slowly trickling down, and it, it's when you get to the bottom and you start looking around like, dang, I really this is really happening. Like you don't think it happens until it happens to you. That's the crazy part. You don't ever think it happens until it happens to you. And then when it happened to me, I was like, yo, this really happens. Like this really happens. It's so crazy. And then when you're really at the bottom, that's when you really start realizing like if people are really in your corner. And I got to a point in my life where I just felt alone. I felt there was no one there. Um, I didn't know what direction to go in, because when you're so high up and you feel like you got everything figured out, and when stuff start getting taken away, it's like, do you really know what you got? Like, do you have everything really figured out? Because when it comes apart, how do you put it together is when you know you got to figure it out. And I didn't know how to put it together. I literally malfunctioned. I was like, I broke. I broke. Nobody knew I broke. Um, I kept most of it to myself. Uh, It was just rough, man. And I hope that any man, any men or women out there that go through something like that, you go look for help, or you ask a friend, or you talk to somebody about it, because it was rough. It was extremely, extremely rough for me. And I'm still to this day, a year later, still trying to climb out of that hole. I still find myself back in it. I still find myself back in it, even to this day. Even to this day. I haven't been able to settle. I haven't been able to be like, haven't been able to be on track in the right direction since then. And it almost makes you think. It almost makes you think, what was it that I was doing that caused me to have it all stripped away? You can never actually put your finger on it. You can never actually put a finger on it, because you don't know. You don't know. I wasn't a bragger. I didn't gloat. I didn't do any of those things. I just worked. Um um with my marriage, it was headed in the direction of falling apart. We were both young. I don't blame her. We were both young. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was anyone else. It was just, we got married young, and as a male, as me, as men, I I worked, I worked. And I had this mentality growing up with my parents and stuff like that. I had this mentality that if once I get older, I'm gonna have a family, I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna be a father, and I'm gonna be a husband. Now, this is for all y'all out there. For all y'all out there, it's more to being married than just being a father, going to work, and being a husband. Because there's avenues in those three things that you have to hit in order for being a father, being a husband, and going to work, you know, actually is what you are doing, if that makes sense to you. So there's more to being a husband than just saying I'm her husband. And there's more than to being a father than just saying I'm their father. Anybody could just say, "Oh, I'm their father. I'm their father." It's what you're doing behind the work of being the father, things like that. And I don't know. Like, I think I had locked so much into those three things: being a father, being a husband, and going to work, that I avoided doing all the other things. Now she's held accountable for her things. That's her. That hasn't. I'm here to talk about me, right? My rise and my fall, right? So in that situation, I feel like on my behalf, I could have been a lot more, you know. Um, Instead of locking in on the main things, making the arrangements to become more than just a father, a husband, and a workman, you know. So I feel like that's where I fell short at, you know. I fell short on that. So for all you young men and women out there, I would like you to I would like to give this advice. I was married for 16 years. So um I would like to give this advice. If you're ever in a marriage, challenge yourself to do more than just being a mother, being a father, being a husband, being a wife, and just going to work, or being a at home mom, or stay at home dad. Um, because there's other things you have to pay attention to, like spending time, getting to know on each other, take each other on dates, spending time with your kids, getting to know your kids individually, going to work. being on time, and when you get time to take off, take that time off, you know, and not just work because they're just going to use that. Um so those are the things that I feel like after 16 years I could have realized. I stuck to the same program and never changed. So that's where I feel like I fell short on my end. Um for me. But otherwise, hey, like we when you hit the bottom, when you hit the bottom of, you know, in life, um it's always good to reach out to somebody, man, and just talk to them, man. Like one of the best things I got to do was just be able to sit down and talk to someone. Um, Staying in my thoughts and stuff like I know some guys are gonna say, "Oh, you just gotta bounce back. You just gotta bounce back." There's more to it than just bounce back. I'm telling you, there's more to it than just bounce back. Especially when you have a marriage that fall apart, you lose your job, you lose your friends. You know, I'm talking about permadeath, losing your friend like that. Ain't no coming back. Um, you start looking, you start questioning, and you start wondering. You don't want that. You don't want to do things like that. And it's hard it's hard sometimes for men to be able to be honest and tell about how they really feel because they feel like they'll get looked at as all weak and stuff like and things on I I'm past that, man. Like the old school ways of doing things is gone and it's a new way of doing things, and some of these people need to get some of this stuff off their chest, man. And I my suggestion to you is if you can't go to therapy, go to somebody that will just sit and listen. Not somebody that's gonna yes you. Somebody that's gonna tell you, nah, that's not right. Nah, you're not right about that. That's one thing I can't. You're not my friend if you can't tell me I'm not doing the right thing when I'm wrong. I need to be told I'm being wrong. I need to be told I'm wrong. So so being at the bottom has been hard because it's always like a glass jar that's with oil on the side and you're trying to climb out, but you can't get no grip, no friction. You can't get back on track. It's crazy. It's crazy because you're never, and I say it over and over again, man, I never thought I would be in this position ever, ever. If only people knew. Nobody knows. You know now. But if only people knew. And I only say this because venting is like the best key. Venting is the best key. Yo, you gotta know. Venting is the best key, guys. Guys and girls. So when you down, you're gonna always be down. But guess what? You're probably down because your foundation had cracks in it. And when you build on a cracked foundation, your beautiful house, your big house that you spend all this money on will slowly start to fall apart. And guess what? When it's your foundation that's cracked, you're just walking right over it. You don't know. You don't know everything's coming because everything's happening because your foundation is falling apart. You have no idea. Nothing's ever perfect, man. Nothing's ever perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. But when you know how you put things together, when it fall apart, you might have a better understanding of how to fix it. When you understand how you did it, when you understand you took the steps. That way, when it's time to step back and look, you say, I took these steps. What did I do wrong? Instead of stepping back and going, I don't see how I went wrong. Everything was great. You gotta understand your foundation. So please, people, to keep it short, love on your family, love on your friends. Just keep in mind, like, no matter how down you get, No matter how low you are, just just know that there's always tomorrow as long as you allow it, as long as you got breath in your lungs. Um, if you don't have somebody in your corner, find somebody to put in your corner. That way, you got somebody at least talk to. It's hard when you're by yourself. When you got to look around, it's nobody but you. So that's just my piece on that. I'll come back through with more things, more information about what I'm going through and how I work through it. Maybe it'll help somebody out there that I'm not sure, but I just wanted to come on here and vent, man. I just had to vent, man. And it's just like that. I mean, I hope this some people can understand and get where I'm coming from. Maybe not. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. It helped me get this off the ground or not, is whatever. But this is therapy for me, so I do it. Um, yeah, so I hope all y'all are doing great out there. Stay healthy, stay great, stay on top. This your boy Walker Muscle. I'm out. Peace. Love y'all. Love.